Hello, welcome to Dvlottery TV. Thank you for stopping by my channel to watch my videos. If you're new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button so that you'll be alerted whenever I drop a new video. But if you've been coming here and you have never subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. All you have to do is sign in with your Gmail login information and click on subscribe. That's as simple as that, so that you'll be officially part of the Dvlottery TV family. Thank you so much. Guys, today I'm going to give you my 8 tips to help you through your interview day. Okay, I'm sure you've done all the other stuff that you need to do, but these are, last minute tips for your interview day, and I hope that this will help many of you out. So let's get right into it. Okay, tip number 1 is that arrive at your interview appointment on time. Appointment time says 8 o'clock. Don't just show up there at 8 o'clock. When it says 7 o'clock, don't just show up there at 7 o'clock. Be there before that time. Just 30 minutes, because the embassy sometimes open the doors early, 30 minutes before time, to let people in there. Okay, but don't be late for your appointment. When you're late for your appointment, it kind of like derails the whole thing. Like, you are all prepared and everything, but when you're late for your appointment and then now you're rushing, and it derails everything. So just arrive on time. Okay. Tip number 2, bring all of your documents. So as you're coming to your interview, you know that you have to bring your interview appointment letter. So bring that. Bring all your documents. Okay, I will make other video, or I've posted other videos. If I haven't already, I'll make them about the checklist of things that you need to take to your interview appointment. So make sure you bring all the documents that apply to your case. Bring them to your interview. Don't leave anything at home. They will not let you go home and bring it back on that day. Even if they need something that you left at home, you will be put in AP for you to go and bring it back. And then now when you're in AP, nobody knows when you're going to get out of that place. So bring all the documents that apply to your case. Okay? Tip number 3. When you go for your interview appointment, make sure you bring enough money to pay for your visa fee. Okay, your visa fee, $330. If your family that you're traveling with, then it's $330 for every single human being that is part of your team. Okay, so make sure you're bringing enough money for that. You can bring that in your local currency or in US dollars, but know that if you're bringing the amount in your local currency, then you don't just look at the currency exchange rate that is in your local market, or like the black market. I know there's like black market rates and then the Forex Bureau rates. Just check with the embassy's website and see what the exchange rate is. Okay, if I were you, if you can get the US dollar bills, then use that. Okay. So now, tip number 4, we are now getting into the actual interview. Okay, we are getting into the actual interview. Tip number 4 means understand the question before you answer. Okay, understand the question before you answer. Some people will say think before you talk, but you must understand the question that the consul officer asks you before you answer. If you don't understand the question and you answer, you might end up giving the wrong information to the wrong question. You might mistaken the question for something else and give the answer for something else, and that is not. You don't want to create that confusion. So make sure that whatever question that you are asked, you understand it. If there is ambiguity in that question, meaning that if the question feels like she could be saying this, or she could be saying that, or he could be saying this, or he could be referring to that, then ask for clarity. Ask for the consular officer to, can you repeat the question for me? Or pardon, you can say pardon, or you can say, could you repeat the question for me? The consular officer would definitely repeat the question for you, because the consular officer wants you to answer the question based on your understanding of the question that was asked. So if you didn't understand something, ask them. In the same way, if English language is something that is difficult for you, you can ask for interpreter. If the official language, because the embassy will conduct interviews in any of the official languages in your country. But if you speak any of the, the other languages that are not official, if you are more comfortable in speaking in those languages, then you can ask the consul officer to bring an interpreter, so that the interpreter can translate what you're saying, or can interpret things for you. Make sure that you are speaking in a language that you are very comfortable in, you are fluent in, that you can understand anything that is said. If at any point in time, if even let's say that when your interview started, you said you would speak English, but then the questions got to some point and now you are struggling with understanding it, you can ask the consul officer, like, can I get an interpreter at this point, because I don't think I understand this one. Because English is our second language for most of us. English is our second language, so it's understandable. So don't think that because you started with I can speak English and then you got to some point and you realize that the question that they're asking you, you cannot express yourself well in English. You are not bound to like stick with it, like force yourself and get through. If at any point you feel that you can express yourself in another language, you can tell the consul officer that, can I get an interpreter so that I can say this in my language? They will do that, so they will not hold that against you. Okay, so that all of that fall under, make sure you understand whatever question they ask you before you answer. All right. Tip number 5: keep your answers brief and simple. Okay, or keep your answers short and simple, whichever one works for you. Make sure you are not talking too much. Don't get yourself caught up in a long and winding story that you are boring the CEO, or you're giving so much information that you shouldn't be giving, or you're saying things that is causing the consul officer to now come up with more questions for you. Maybe your interview is supposed to last like 5 minutes, but because you talk so long, now you said, yeah, I didn't finish school and so I went here, and then the consul officer is like, you didn't finish school, so then why does this say this? See, maybe the consul officer was not even thinking of asking you that question, but because of the things that you're saying, now you are giving the consul officer more room to come up with more questions for you. Okay, so that's why you must keep your answers brief. Keep it simple. We want the summarized version of whatever answers that you have. Tip number 6: add details when necessary. Add details when necessary. So that is just a fallback of the tip number 5, which is keep it simple. But tip number 6 is add details when necessary. If your answers, demand, detailed information, then you need to give detailed information. Like, let's say you went and they ask you, have you been refused US visa before? The answer will be yes or no. But here there might be, extra information that you may have to add. Yes or no. Oh yes, I was denied. Yes, I was denied student visa. No, I've never applied for US. No, you don't need to add details to it. But if it's yes, then you may, add more details that yes, it's because of this and that, just like that. Just know that every answer that you are giving, most of the times, your information, they might already even know. They already know the answers, but they're asking you to see if you're going to be truthful and honest. So, all right. So add details when necessary. Okay. Tip number 7. Read the body language. Read the body language of the consular officer. Know that human beings, we have a mannerism that we may not even be aware of. When you meet somebody and the person smiles at you, the person is friendly, or the person is stoic, that the person is unfriendly or might be hostile. Sometimes when somebody sits down and does this, that the person is, guarding themselves, they're being a little bit hostile or defensive. So you have to look at all this type of body language. So I'm not saying that your consul officer is going to sit there looking like this, but you have to read people's body language. And we do that in our daily lives. So when you go for interview, do the same thing. Read the body language of consul officer. If you answer questions and the consul officer is nodding their head, mostly it means that you're doing good. Okay? If the consular officer is doing this, sometimes it's not going well. Let me also add that depending on your culture, because in certain cultures, I learned recently that in certain culture, shaking their head means yes, and this is no. So depending on your culture, your area, if people know their head, in America, when people know their head, it's affirmative. If they're shaking their head, then it's negative. So if the consular officer is, they have frown on your face, their eyebrows is like this, going down like that, then, it's like they're puzzled, they have like a quiz face. If they have puzzled, look, meaning that they're not convinced with what you're saying, then sometimes when you read that body language, then you react appropriately. If the person looks like they're not convinced, and let's say you are telling a story, and you're telling the story, and the person is like doing this and all that, that is a pointer for you to, hey, start putting the brakes on that story. Start slowing down on that story, because that story is not really helping your case. Okay, so if you have to put an end to that story and go straight to the point, or maybe what you're saying, you're making things worse for yourself. So read the body language and react appropriately. Okay, that nobody can tell you that do this or do that. It's only you. You'll be in front of the consular officer, and you will see that body language, and then, like I said, react or respond to it appropriately. Give the appropriate response to that body language. If what you interpret from that body language means for you to add more information, then you do that. If the consular officer is looking at your grades and shaking their head and stuff, and you have a remedial exams results there that you can show to that, then you react appropriately. So that one, nobody can tell you that do this and that, because you're supposed to look at the situation, assess the situation, and then apply appropriate solution or appropriate reaction to that situation. All right. The eighth and last point, and that is that use your documents. Use your documents to help your case. You are there for interview, but sometimes your documents make your story, your answers easier. Okay, if I'm telling somebody that, hey, I went to university at this place, and then the person looks like they're not convinced, and this is my certificate. See, me giving the person my certificate or showing them my certificate, that ends the whole discussion about my school. If the person was, felt that that answer, that thing that I was talking about, is not convincing enough, now my certificate, looking at my certificate, just seals it that, hey, she's being honest. Okay, so use your documents when you go in you're answering questions, and that you have documents to actually support that. Then you use your document. Let your document also help drive your message home. Let your document help you hit a home run. Okay, like score. Okay, so don't just hide your document. If you have something that can help you, your name has changed, consular officer is looking, it's like your name is different here and it's different here, and you have affidavit of change of name document there. Why stand there and not show it? The consular officer is not going to ask you that, do you have affidavit of change of name? Sometimes they might ask, sometimes they might not ask. The consular officer may not be aware of all your, the document that you have in your hand. The consular officer may not even be aware that you took remedial exams to better your grades. The consular officer may not know what other information you may have to help your case. So if you have them, use them to help you. And when you have those documents, keeping your message simple, it makes the whole thing easier. All right. So guys, I hope that these tips will help you sail through your interview and come out with success. So I hope, guys, these tips will help you sail through your interview and come out with success. I hope to see many of you guys in America one day and become American citizens and contribute to this country and to our home countries too. Guys, if you're new to the green card lottery process, you can join my green card lottery groups. Or if you're a veteran and you still want to gain knowledge about U.S. immigration process, you can join any of my Facebook groups. I have Green Card Lottery Africa, Green Card Lottery Ghana, Wofoi TV, moving to America /Wofoi TV. Follow my official Facebook page, Wofoi TV. Click the thumbs up and follow me on all social media platforms. Guys, if you want to be part of my WhatsApp group, then you need to send me proof of selection. Email me at wofoitv@gmail.com with your first notification letter. You can cover your case number, but don't over edit your information, and send it to me. And when I can verify that, then I'll add you to my WhatsApp group. But guys, I love you for all your support and your kindness so far. Please share my videos with your friends and families so that they will also be educated about this process, because guys, we are in another age at all. Gone are the days where when you wanted to come to America, you didn't know where to turn to, where you don't have access to information. Now there's a wide variety of information out there, but you want the right information so that you'll be able to make it successful on your journey to America. Subscribe, share my videos with your friends and family. I love you, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye bye.